Hey guys, welcome to Idiot. Okay, so I just posted on my TikTok, I said, I'm craving tea. Tell me the most unhinged thing you've ever done to your ex. And I'm not talking snoop through his phone. I'm talking you should be in a psych ward with the keys thrown out. And these comments are sending me, okay? Let me just read you a few. Oh my God. Dude, I posted this an hour ago. First one says, slept with the girl he was trying to get with. Okay, second one. He was cheating and I told him if he wanted to get back together, he had to tell everyone that he cheated on me. He told everyone and I left him. Ooh, this woman says, legally, I cannot post this information. Ooh, okay. This one says, found out he was cheating while I was deployed to Iraq 15 years ago. Keep in mind, I might have had a bit of postpartum depression with a 1-year-old and 2-year-old. I sent him a box of shit diapers. Okay, next one says, the car dealership called me about his car he was behind on. I gave them his mom's address where he was hiding it. They repoed it. Okay, this one, probably the most savage of all, signed him up for Scientology. This one's even worse. This is up. He was type 1 diabetes. Passed out due to low blood pressure, and I left him there like I didn't see him. Saw him crawling on his hands and knees to the fridge while I was praying the Lord took him home. Jenna. Oh my God. What did he do? What did he do? This girl says, I made an entire pan of beef enchiladas using canned cat food for the meat. Apparently, if you season it just right, you can't tell the difference between cat food and ground meat. No regrets. Oh my God. This one says, he cheated, went to the cops to get my clothes from our house, only to find out he has warrants out for his arrest. He's currently facing 2 life sentences. Oh my God. What did he do? Holy shit. You guys, these just keep going. Marissa says he cheated on me for the 100th time and he had a warrant out for his arrest at the time. And I set up a time with him and the cops at a certain area and we drove by and he went to jail for 6 months. What is, you got, your picker is off, y'all. Jeez, I mean, I should talk. Demagnetized all his bank cards so he couldn't access any money for 5 to 7 business days and got his online accounts locked out by trying incorrect passwords. So he actually had to go stand in a line. Savage. I met up with the girl who he called Mike that he was cheating on me with while he was at work and waited until he got off and introduced her as Mike while I laughed maniacally. That's hilarious. KM says I purchased 200 mini plastic babies and while he was packing, I placed them in everything. We're talking tiny jean pockets, phone case, pew case, protein powder, soap, random socks everywhere. Just 200 mini plastic babies everywhere. Jesus, that's psychotic and I love it. Used his toothbrush to clean the toilet after he cheated and never told him. Pressed charges. Microwaved his yogurt, then put it back in the fridge. Took every light bulb and clothes hanger in the house when I moved out. Oh man, y'all. I sent my baby daddy's info to the Jehovah's Witness. Now they won't leave him alone. Yo. Put Nair in his shampoo bottle after cheated on me with my best friend on my birthday. He was already losing hair. I shat in his car. Y'all. I shat in his car on a 90-degree day. before we both worked a double. He cheated on me. Best part, he never thought it was me. In the middle of a fight, I told my ex if his manhood was the size of his ego, I'd be happy. Damn. Y'all, these go on and on. This is a whole episode. Y'all. Just go to my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook. They're insane. Y'all are insane. I thought I was crazy. You got to go read these. They're fucking hilarious. Okay, you guys, today, buckle up because today's guest is going to blow your mind and your vagina. Okay. My guest is a 62-year-old sexpert named Susan Bratton. She's literally Samantha from Sex and the City, but with less filter, more lube, and a PhD on how to come a lot. Susan is a sexpert, a certified, self-proclaimed intimacy queen. Okay. She's the trusted go-to for millions when it comes to sex, love, pleasure, connection, and orgasms that feel like spiritual awakenings. We get into everything, the science, the toys, the techniques, the myths, the magic, the moves. And by the end of this convo, okay, I was rethinking everything I thought I knew about sex and relationships. Okay. No joke. This is just the tip. This is the tease. The full unedited 2.5 hour deep dive conversation would get me demonetized, banned, and maybe even hexed. So it's only available on my Patreon. If you want the full sex ed for grown-ass women experience, the insane shit that we had to cut, go to patreon.com/Laura Clary right now. Seriously, you have to watch this and you will thank me later. Okay. Also, and this is important, Susan gave me access to some of the most mind-blowing tools, toys, tricks, and tips I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sharing all of that with you over at morelaura.com. Again, that's morelaura.com. There is a whole sexy treasure chest waiting for you there. So just go now and thank me later. Okay, and now, without further ado, the myth, the legend, the woman who cracked the code on sex, intimacy, and how to keep it hot at any age, the most entertaining, wise, fearless, radiant, badass 62-year-old I've ever met, Susan Bratton. Let's go.
I get to look at you for 90 minutes. You're so beautiful.
Really?
It's just such a pleasure to gaze upon your beauty.
Oh my gosh. Are you hitting on me?
No. But I am adoring you and I am worshiping you.
Whoa.
But I don't need you to have sex with me for that. That's just all free, as much as you want.
Why are you like this?
I don't know.
What happened to you?
Oxytocin. Oxytocin happened to me. It is crazy, but I started making my own yogurt with this bacteria in it called Lactobacillus reuteri.
Okay.
And it's just homemade yogurt. And it's full of the bacteria that repopulates your gut. Because if you take antibiotics, it kills that off. And so you have to repopulate your gut with it.
Yeah.
And I just pump a lot of Lactobacillus reuteri into my gut, and that's what makes oxytocin. And so I'm just like an oxytocin production machine. And oxytocin does a number of things. It makes your hair beautiful. It makes your skin beautiful. It whittles in your waist. Not that you have to worry about that. You're nice and lithe, which is so pretty. But it also helps with anxiety and depression in that it makes you feel in awe of things. I'm in my heart because I'm in awe of things. And I get a lot of oxytocin generation because I make love a lot. And so when you're held by your partner, when you're getting full body touch, when you're getting loving, attention, you generate oxytocin. And when you generate oxytocin, it makes you feel awe and love and connection and bonding. And you're annoyed with people less, which is super fucking helpful. Because I'm so annoyed by people all the time, as you are, as we all are right now. And so oxytocin is my coping mechanism.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Your energy is amazing and contagious. I actually apologize. We were just talking about this off camera that I'm like, a bit premenstrual right now.
yeah.
So like
agitated.
yeah, just this morning,
Yeah.
I don't know, I was just like off, you know, when you wake up and you're just a little anxious and, you know, with young kids, I can't really wake up and do a whole meditation or masturbation or workout because I'm too worried about like cleaning their butts. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
Exactly.
You know, but like, wow. So the yogurt's helpful.
Yeah.
Or just the good bacteria
It's
in whatever way.
specifically
Your gut.
that
Yeah.
bacteria is the one that your body needs to generate oxytocin. And so we run around being low oxytocin producers because we've all taken antibiotics for something somewhere along the line. And it's a very delicate gut bacteria.
Wow.
So reestablishing it in those, you know how they talk about yogurt having a colonizing units, high colonizing units, like lots of it in the thing?
Yeah.
That's when you make your own bacteria, when you cultivate it in the yogurt. And you can make it with nut milk, or you can make it with whole milk, or with half and half, whatever you like. I like to make it with half and half because it also has, I'm going to say it wrong, but like pentadecanoic acid, which is also called fatty 15. It's a essential fatty acid that comes from milk, that comes from whole milk, rich milk.
Okay.
And a lot of people are running around really low with that too. And so I make it with whole milk, and I make my yogurt, and then I make my morning smoothie before I work out, and I stuff it full of my collagen and my protein and all these things. And it just makes me feel really loving.
Wait, you still get your period?
Yeah, I still get my period too.
And you're how old?
63. Yeah. And guess what? I just came up with a new longevity goal I'm so excited about. I'll be 64 in a few months, and I want to deadlift my body weight. And I'm tall like you. I weigh 160 pounds.
6 feet.
I'm big, which I like. I like to be a big human being. I'm a glamazon.
Yeah.
I like
you
that.
Are.
So
You're
are
stunning.
you. And so I want to deadlift my body weight on my 64th birthday. That's my new goal.
I love this.
Yeah.
goal. My goodness. But wait, how do you get your period though?
I've been taking estrogen and progesterone and testosterone for decades. So in my 40s, as I started going into perimenopause, I had a really great doctor who put me on hormones.
Okay.
And I just keep my hormones topped up.
Okay, so you're not getting all the crazy hot flashes and
Never have.
Never have. Do you know how terrified I am of
I know.
perimenopause and menopause?
Yeah. I maybe got one, and then I just upped my estrogen and they went away. But
Are there downsides to that?
none that I can find in any literature or decent scientific evidence. And the doctors that I work with all say it is totally reasonable.
So
and
why
perfectly
isn't every
fine, and
woman
I feel
doing
great.
it?
Because of that Women's Health Initiative study in the 90s, where they gave women the Premarin, which was from mare urine. It wasn't a bioidentical estrogen.
Okay.
And so women were taking that, and they were taking a non-bioidentical progesterone as well, called, I think, progestin or something. There's a lot that's been written on this. As a matter of fact, one of my girlfriends, Dr. Lindsay Berkson, she wrote a book called Estrogen Vindication, but essentially going through how that research was flawed and it wasn't bioidentical hormone replacement. And that's why women, and they were all old women, and that's why they had a higher incidence of issues.
Yeah.
And so when you take bioidentical hormone replacement, which you can start in your 40s, you're not there yet, but as you begin to feel your estrogen declining, you can start to top it off. You just keep it topped up.
Wow.
Yeah. So I put estrogen intravaginally, so inside my vagina.
Okay.
I also wear a little estrogen patch for systemic estrogen, because estrogen's good for your breasts, it's good for your heart, it's good for your bones, it's good for your skin, it's good for your cognitive function, not just for keeping your vaginal mucosal lining in good shape.
Wow.
So I take estrogen, and I also take progesterone orally. So I take capsules, and I also take testosterone. And I love the testosterone
Why do you take testosterone?
because it makes me a badass bitch,
Ooh.
which I am.
It doesn't make you angry
No.
or aggressive?
No.
What does it make you? Horny?
Confident. Yeah, confident, horny, and I've got, if you feel my muscle. And I'm not even pumped up.
Yeah.
I mean, most 63-year-old women are wandering around with, receding, flaccid musculature. And I'm
Holy
like
shit.
wanting to deadlift my body weight at 64. So I really like, but what I like, and it makes my voice a little lower, which I kind of like because, I teach dirty talk, as you know.
Oh, I can't wait to get into
so
that.
I really
cannot wait to get into that.
I like the. So I just like to be a bit of a beast and a badass bitch. And, I just enjoy that. I'm the CEO of 2 companies. I'm a warrior. I just like the way testosterone makes me feel.
I love that. Can you tell people who don't already know what you do and why you do it?
Yeah.
We just hopped right in, but
yeah, we got going. I have been a sexpert for a couple of decades, and I started learning about how to have sex when I almost got divorced from my husband in my early 40s. I stopped wanting to f my husband after for a dozen years and not having an orgasm from intercourse. I just was like doing everything I could to get out of having sex with him. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And he was miserable, that poor guy, because they have more testosterone than we do, and it makes them horny.
But when you say you weren't having an orgasm during intercourse, were you having a clitoral orgasm?
I mean, if I used my rabbit vibrator, and this was like 20 something years ago, and I mean, like that was like 1.0 sex tech, it was like pretty lame. I mean, sex tech is amazing now. I brought some really fun things to show you.
I can't wait.
Because one of my areas of expertise is sex tech, the technology of pleasure.
Wow.
And so we decided that we wanted to try to learn how to help me cross the gasm chasm, close the orgasm gap, have an orgasm just from intercourse without having to put a vibrator on my clit. And we went to therapists, and they didn't do much to help us with that part of things. They weren't
just
really
like a couples therapist.
It was just more like a marriage and family therapist. So they weren't
You're like,
the right people.
Doctor, I want to come more. And they're
exactly.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
But we went to sex workshops because I live up in Northern California by San Francisco in the Bay Area, which is really the kind of the nexus of the, personal development, transformation, and sexuality. Thought leaders really come from that area of the world. And so we went to Tantra workshops, and we went to a wonderful program from that's called Sex, Love, and Intimacy from another institute. We did a lot of workshops, and that's what got us good in bed. And we're like, it is so easy to be great in bed if somebody just tells you what to do. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to devote my life to essentially taking sex workshops and bringing them online so that anyone around the world could just be like, hey, let's watch these videos and try this technique and learn how to do these things. And that's when I started my company. Personal Life Media was the name. We tried to make it not too sexy because people are so triggered around sexuality.
Sure.
And then we launched the Better Lover brand, Steamy Sex Ed video collection. I've written and published 44 books and programs, 34 of which are my own work, and 10 are the work of my mentors. So I'm carrying on the legacy of how to become a female ejaculator, how to have expanded orgasms, male multiple orgasm. So lovemaking and sex techniques, teaching people how to transform having sex into making love.
Wow.
That's what I like to do. That, you like that soulful, deep, kind of sensual, erotic connection that you're having with your partner right now.
Yeah.
You said that to me before we started.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, it's very deep.
Yes.
It's very connected.
Yeah, it's like love making.
Love making.
Yes.
That's what I teach.
Yes, that true intimacy where you're looking into each other's eyes, and it's deep and it's present.
Yes. Heart
And you want to
connected,
cry almost.
conscious,
Heart connected.
passionate lovemaking.
Yeah.
That's literally my tagline. So and I'm really good. I'm a highly sensitive person. I can feel things. I have really the sense of interoception, which is what you're feeling in your body. I can put that into words and steps for people. It's just one of the things I'm good at is translating my feels into my tells.
And so the bit with your husband, you were going to get a divorce, right?
Yeah,
And
he was already having an affair.
Okay.
He was trying to get his needs met. He was kind of emotionally checked out. And we had this beautiful little girl who I was already mom bragging to you earlier before we started about our precious daughter who's now 27. We didn't want to wreck her life. We loved each other. We got along. We were great friends. And now we've been in business for 18 years together. So we started Personal Life Media together because he was an inventor of an 1.0 online music service called Rhapsody. And he was really good at digitally delivering content, which was 20 years ago, really pretty new.
Yeah.
You know, it was the beginning of the internet.
Yeah. Wow.
So we launched our business back then, teaching passionate lovemaking techniques.
How did you find out he had an affair?
He told me.
He told you?
Yeah. He was going to a therapist, and the therapist said, you got to tell her. Just come clean. Just tell her what's got. Be honest. And that was what really saved our marriage, was radical honesty. We started just telling each other the truth. And we had to unlearn what our culture teaches, which is walk on eggshells, withhold, cover things up, just stuff your feelings, like carry on, pretend nothing is wrong. And that's what we had done for 12 years. And we were like, we're just going to cut that out, and we're just going to start telling the truth.
And what was his truth? Why did he have an affair? Who was it with?
Well, he was having an affair with a woman who was also in a sexless marriage.
Okay.
Ours wasn't completely sexless, but he practically had to beg for it. It was mercy. I was giving him mercy sex. Every woman in the world knows what mercy sex is.
Okay.
Where you just feel so bad for the guy. You throw him a boner. You throw him a lady boner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. And you guys started going to workshops, and now you work together. And would you say your marriage is stronger than ever now?
Yes. And we've been through, and we still, God, it's, decades later, and we've had other bumps in the road. We've had hiccups.
Like what?
We've had illnesses. We've had all kinds of things. I got really bad long haul COVID. He nursed me through it. We opened our relationship about 20 years ago as well. Once we started having good sex.
Whose decision was that?
Both. Equally.
Who brought it up though first?
I don't even know.
Okay, because it was that.
So when you start going to these workshops and you start having experiences with people,
Yeah.
and you're in group dynamics where it's so open and loving and accepted to be in pleasure, you're like, and then you get good at having sex. You start having good orgasms. You start having incredible experiences together. You're learning new things.
So do you think monogamy is natural?
I think monogamy is really the big bell curve. Is most people are very happy being monogamous, very. And we just enjoy sometimes having other partners. They come and go out of our lives.
And so you mentioned to me before this that you have a boyfriend.
I do.
And do your husband and your boyfriend, are they friends? Do they
Yes.
get along? Do they
They're
both
best
join you in?
friends.
They're best friends?
Yes, they are best friends. They're very close.
And do they join you in bed together?
Yes. And they're both straight.
And they're both straight?
Yes, we have threesomes.
So they're not, do they touch each other's?
Well, they would touch each other's.
But
It doesn't
okay.
It doesn't make them gay. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never had a threesome.
Yeah.
I've never had
They're
a threesome.
fun.
Yeah. I've never done it. And like, it's so funny. My boyfriend and I, we got in a huge argument the other day. Why? Because I got jealous. He like went to some dive bar, and we were like having coffee on Thursday, and this like old creepy French dude was just like staring at me, and we were kind of joking about like what a perv he was because he wouldn't stop staring.
But you're so exquisitely beautiful.
Well,
How can you blame
please,
anybody?
stop.
I'm going to look at you for 90 minutes and it's going to be the joy of my day.
Come on.
No,
please.
exactly. I mean, people can't stop staring at you because you are exquisitely beautiful.
No.
And fun,
Honestly,
and kind,
stop.
and adorable,
No.
and likable.
You gotta stop.
You're so precious.
No, but okay. So old dude staring. We start kind of joking about it. And then he
Yeah.
goes, oh my gosh, he goes, you're so loud. He goes, you're so obvious. He goes, that reminds me of me the other day. I was at a dive bar with my friend. And I just went, huh? And he goes, yeah, I was at a dive bar with my friend, and there was this like girl, and she was being weird, and we were talking about it, and I think she heard me. He was just telling like a harmless story.
Yeah.
I started going, well, why didn't he why is he just telling me now that he was at this dive bar? What else isn't he telling me? Who was that girl? Was she prettier than me? Did she have bigger tits than me? It was like this horrible,
Insecurity.
jealous, insecure pet. And I tried to bottle it in because I knew that it was an insane thought.
Yes.
I knew I was overreacting. So I just was like trying to just listen and be present.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, he could just, because he's also very intuitive and can always
sounds like he
feel
is.
what I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's great.
More so than me. And he just said, what's going on, Laura? Like, what's going on with you? And I just said, well, how often are you not telling me about going to dive bars? Like, what else are you doing that you're not telling me about? And he could just see that I was triggered. And he goes, Laura, he goes, come on. I went out, like we had a session at the studio and I went out for 30 minutes to this bar to, it was not a big deal. And I just like kind of lost it a little. I was like, well, what else are you not telling me? And it's like, I have trust issues because my ex cheated on me.
Yeah.
Sex addiction that he talks about. So like I have stuff.
Of course.
Right. But it's like, I don't want to get jealous. I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I want to be free and be Buddhist about it and just let him be who he wants to be and do what he wants to do. And like, I got jealous and it's a horrible feeling to feel jealous and insecure.
Because it's petty.
It's so petty.
Childish. It's
so meaningless.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
You were honest about what you were feeling.
Yeah.
And it's more important to be honest and the thing that's interesting about being honest is that when you are, the hardest part about it is that you have to admit what a petty little bitch you are.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like who I am right now.
I know you know.
I know he's not cheating on me. We are in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
And I truly do trust that he's not like going and banging people, but it's that insecure feeling that he's going to like meet someone who's going to be better than me and he's going to abandon me. That's like, that's the fear. That's the, so how do you overcome that?
Yeah. Well, it takes people who have some confidence. It takes extra loving.
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of people, they feel insecure because they're not getting enough love and appreciation and adoration. So when you look at people who are in consensual or ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, everything from polyamory and open relationships to relationship anarchy to swingers to you name it. There's lots of flavors and relationship constructs that many, many people are playing with right now for many reasons. Either they have the time and money to do it, or they need to live in community because they don't have a lot of money and they want to live in community and have like a close-knit, loving family where there is some sexuality with more people than one.
Right.
But when there's a couple of words have you ever heard a word called compersion? Compersion, Compersion.
No.
So this is an interesting word. It's kind of in a nutshell like the opposite of jealousy. It's you could essentially transform that instant reaction from the patriarchal, monogamous, lock down your culture to the more open, I am a sovereign woman. I will decide who I make love to as I mature and age. I am in control of myself and my life. I own my genitals. I own my relationships. I own my experiences type of a thing. I love watching your face open to this.
I was like, I want that.
This is a new interesting thing I might like to have. I'm trying. I could feel you trying that on. And when you do that, one of the things that you learn is that when you have multiple partners that you love, you become a better lover. You learn how to love people in the way they want to be loved. You give them the loving that they're looking for in their own unique ways. And you become better at loving more people. It expands your heart muscle because your heart is literally a muscle. And the more that you love, the stronger it gets at loving, the better you get at loving. You said, how are you like that? How can you say all these nice things? It's like, because I've practiced opening my heart and loving many. That's literally what polyamory means. It means many loves.
Okay. So when you guys made the decision 20 years ago to become polyamorous, so you got a boyfriend. Does he have a girlfriend?
We've had boyfriends and girlfriends throughout our 20 years that have come and gone over time.
Are there rules attached?
Always.
Okay, and what are they?
Mostly it's around safe sex. It's around not getting or spreading STIs. So there's ultimate veto power. We have a poly relationship, and these are only our rules. And the caveat is that I am not recommending this for anyone who is listening or watching us. I am not here talking about my personal life and expecting that you will approve of it or desire it. And I am not recommending it for you. All I'm doing is answering Laura's question.
That's right. She's not preaching
I am not.
polyamory. In fact, what you do is very much like taking long-term monogamous couples and help them have great, meaningful, passionate sex.
That's my world, is helping.
I'm assuming you work with mostly monogamous people.
I don't work individually with anyone because I'm not a therapist. I'm an author and producer of passionate lovemaking techniques. So the human operating system works the way it does. Everyone can have over 20 kinds of orgasms. Everyone can be a great bedroom communicator. Everyone can keep their genitals in fantastic working order to extend their sex span so they can have really hot sex that keeps getting better their whole life long. So these are the things that I teach through my books, my programs, and my newsletters. That's what my business is. And it's 95% or more monogamous, heterosexual, pair-bonded, man-woman couples.
Okay.
Because that's what most people are.
Okay, but you're not. So what are the rules?
Our rules are that Tim and I will always be together. And so don't try to take my husband. Don't try to take his wife.
And have you ever felt threatened in the last 20 years? Tell me.
More than once.
Tell me.
Women have come into our life and gone, ooh, I really like this guy. I'm going to take him. Like, I'm going to move him out of her house and take him home, like to that level. So I've had to be careful of that. And that's what people are the most afraid of when I talk about poly, which is why I was like, I'm not talking about this for you. I'm just talking about you. Ask me what I do, right?
I'm so curious about this world as a sadly jealous woman from time to time, like who can be possessive of their man. Yeah. You will not look at another woman. I am your queen. Bow down, bitch.
Yes.
You know, but it's too much. I need to chill out a little.
Maybe.
Or
you
not.
can be whatever you want.
Or maybe I should be a dom.
Maybe. That's fun too. My recommendation is to move from being only feminine to playing the role of the masculine, of the dominatrix, to running the bedroom game, to allowing a man to surrender to the pleasure that you're taking with him, and to let him get out of his strategic mind and just surrender. And then once you're really good at the running the game as well as surrendering to your pleasure, and you've got both what we would call masculine and feminine, but I mean, to me, that's an old paradigm too.
Right, because we both have both.
We have all.
We all have
We are
all.
everything.
We have all.
We should be as everything as we want to be.
Yeah.
And stop limiting ourselves. We should be maxing ourselves. That's what makes life great. But once you get there, then you can move to the next step. So that's switchy. Switchy is you just can flow from one state.
From like submissive to dominant.
In a moment's notice, because they're both just so wired into you naturally.
In the same session?
Yes. So I can easily go from saying exactly what I want and being in control to completely surrendering, to going back to control, to completely surrendering.
What do you prefer?
I like the state of flow. I like to use interoception, to listen to what my body is desiring, ask for it, and get it. And I like my partners to do that too.
Don't be afraid to ask for it.
Right.
But wait, we're still not getting back to the rules. So some women have...
So my rule is STIs. Our
STIs
rules are
and
that if you want to make love with another person and you want to do, you can go out and kiss anybody you want. You don't have to call me. You don't have to text me. If you are at a party and I'm traveling and there's a hot person and you want to have a make out with them, make out with them. You can touch their boobs. You can touch their yoni. They can touch
their
your dick.
Yoni?
Yeah.
What's a yoni?
What? You know what a yoni
What's a yoni?
is. You know what a yoni is.
Tell me what a yoni is.
It's a vulva. It's female genitals. It's Y-O-N-I. It's a tantric lovemaking word. It means the portal in Sanskrit. And it's basically up. So the yoni is just a beautiful word for your female genital parts. And I like it because it's like my little sparkle yoni, you know, because mine shoots sparkles and rainbows out for sure.
Wow.
100%.
So he can go out to a party and touch someone's yoni and you don't experience jealousy or.
No, I have compersion. I'm pleased for his joy because he's not going to leave me. He loves me. I've been with him 34 years this year. So I've been with him longer than I haven't. He's my life partner. I will live to 100 and I will still be with him. But I will also have had amazing love and sex with other lovers throughout my life until the day I die.
Have you ever fallen in love with someone else in the past 20 years?
I've fallen in love with every person I've ever slept with because my heart can love so many.
But you don't get attached to these people?
Sure, I love them. And sometimes I'm attached to them for 9 years. And other times I'm attached to them for 9 days.
Do they stay at your house?
Sometimes they stay at my house, yeah.
And do the women stay at your house too?
Yes.
Have you ever not gotten along with a woman?
Yes. And that didn't last long. Because
What
I have
happened
to be
there?
happy. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And that's in poly households too.
And does your husband respect that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard for him sometimes.
What's hard for him?
At one point, he had a girlfriend that I didn't care for over time. And she was the one that ultimately did try to take him away from me. And I just knew, you know.
We always know.
And, he was so happy that I was like practicing my compersion really hard. I was just like really, really trying to focus on his happiness.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I learned a really hard lesson around my own boundaries, that it was about being lovable. So the thing about boundaries that's really cool is that if your boundaries are getting breached, and you're just like stuffing that and not dealing with it and not addressing it, then what you're really doing is you're saying, I'm not actually lovable for everything that I am, and I have to change myself to be loved.
Yes.
So I stopped doing that,
Yeah.
and I started saying, I'm not happy. This is not working for me. This cannot go on. And ultimately it ended, but it took him a long time, and I had to be way more expansive than I really had the energy for. It like tested the limits of my patience and expansion. But I'm overall committed at a high level to my husband having life experiences and working through his too.
But what are the benefits of having a life partner? Like if you're polyamorous, like you're a wealthy, beautiful woman, you're capable of loving multiple people. Like why not just live in your house by yourself and have lovers come in and out? Like why have a life partner?
A lot of people do. That's definitely a way of polyamory or consensual non-monogamy that suits some people. It doesn't suit me. I love my husband. I want to be with him every single day of my life. I miss him when I'm not with him.
Yeah.
He's the wind beneath my wings. He's the stable base upon which my creativity soars. He has always called me toward my greatness. He has always taken care of me.
Yeah.
And I love being able to be. I wrote a book called Relationship Magic.
Okay.
And it's one of my non-sexual books. It's a relationship book. Most of the stuff that I do is about sex techniques, pleasuring skills, orgasmic potential, bedroom communication and pillow talk, and essentially like intimate wellness, how to keep all the equipment working so it keeps getting better and better and you have more pleasure as you age, because your genitals can atrophy as you age, and you got to reverse the aging. It's just like going to get IPL or a facelift or a whatever, you just have to take care of your too, and your, because they start to shrink and atrophy as you age. So I write a lot about that. I don't write so much about relationship, but there's one relationship technique that is like the foundation of relationship that is very, very important. And that is understanding what your relationship values are compared to mine. If we were in a relationship, what you want is going to be different than what I want. And so I need to treat you the way you want to be treated. And you need to treat me the way I want to be treated. So I feel like I'm in a perfect relationship with you.
Right.
So my relationship values are, number one is security. I need to feel safe.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm out there. right? So I'm an out there sexpert. So,
Sure.
there's a lot of people who might do things and take that in the wrong way. So I like to have a little bit of male protection.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, that doesn't happen much for me. Most of my fans love me so much, like yours do.
Yeah.
That's such a lovely thing for us
Yeah.
to be loved by many.
Yeah.
But I also grew up with a very insecurely attached childhood, and I've been recovering from it ever since. I'm very aware of it. I've done tons of healing,
Yeah.
but I like my daddy to take care of me. We were talking earlier about what's so great about daddies.
Daddy.
And for me, I love the daddy energy part of my husband, the caretaking part of him.
Did you have that growing up?
No.
Okay,
That's why I
same
need
as
it
these.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But my number 2 relationship value after security is freedom. I want to be totally taken care of and do whatever the I want to do.
Okay.
And my husband is like, you do you, baby. I got you. He gets that about me.
Wow.
And he loves that. He's an introvert. He wants to stay home. He wants to run his numbers and do his things, his crazy thing. He runs my business for me. He is tech, finance, ops, everything. We've got 20 people in our business, and he really runs the business. Even though I'm the CEO, I'm the face of the brand. I'm the creator of the content. I'm the deal doer.
Wow.
And so we're perfect together in that way.
And that doesn't bother you working together? Does it ever cause conflict, or do you love the collaboration?
great
And he's good at the
together.
things you're not. You're good at the things he's not. Like he couldn't be sitting here doing that. Right.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
you don't
times
want to be
people are
doing all the
like,
numbers.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, bring your husband, bring your boy in there. I'm like, my boyfriend will come, but my husband will not. Will not.
How'd you meet your boyfriend?
He was one of my fans, and he came up to me and he's like, I'd love to have a selfie with you. I'm one of your biggest fans. And I thought, what a handsome, charming man. And I did a couple selfies, and we didn't talk after that for a year or so. And I happened to post on Instagram that I was at this particular location, and he texted me, he IG'd me, DM'd me, and he was like, hey, you're right by my house. I'd love to pop by and say hi again. Do you remember meeting me? And I was like, I do remember meeting you, and you were a hot piece of ass. Sure, come on and say hi again. And we just hit it off. And then he and my husband hit it off, and they get along so well. Like, we just got back.
Is he seeing anyone else, your boyfriend?
Yes, he has 2 girlfriends right now because he doesn't live in the same town we do. So he has 2 lovely girlfriends.
Okay.
And we're all like in what's called a polycule, which is basically that he's not having sex with anyone who's having sex with anyone but him. They're both only with him, and I'm only with him. So the way that you don't get STIs is everybody screens into a fluid bonded group. And that way you're all protected. Everybody knows if there's any STIs, like I have herpes.
Okay.
And so people know, okay, she's got herpes. I don't get it very much anymore.
Yeah.
And if I have an outbreak, I know it's coming and I abstain. But I wouldn't want his girlfriends to be with him and not know that I had herpes. They should know. They should be informed.
Yeah,
but
that's
see, I'm
responsible.
really nerdy about this because I'm actually the chief advocacy officer of an STI testing company that does at-home STI kits. So now, you know how you keep COVID kits around now?
Yeah.
You always have them around, unfortunately. We live in that era. Now you can keep your STI kits so that if you and your boyfriend are like, wow, I really like that girl. I'd actually like to have a threesome with her. She'd like to have a threesome with us. Let's all test, send it in, and in 24 to 48 hours, you get your results back and you can schedule a hot date. Because here's the thing, there's 2 levels of safety. So I feel like there should be a threesome in your future. I'm encouraging you to have.
Really?
I'm encouraging
I've never
you to
had
experiment.
one.
I think they're really fun and they're a growth experience. So why not? So only if you want to, of course. But
I'm thinking about
there's
it.
nothing to worry about. It's fun. If you're a good communicator, and you'll know when the time is right if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but here's how to keep yourself safe.
Okay.
There's A and B level safety. A is I can touch your body with my hands. I can kiss you. That's pretty darn safe. B is you should be tested for any mouth to genital or genital to genital contact. You should always be STI tested first.
Yeah.
Because that's what skin to skin contact is a lot of transmission, but other things are transmitted. And you don't want any STIs because I mean, even herpes, it has down. I mean, a lot of sexperts out there say, herpes, it's not even anything you need to worry about. Everybody's got herpes. I'm like, they do. The last thing you want is cold sores or sores on your genitals that you didn't have because someone didn't tell you that. Because over the years, you can get trigeminal neuralgia from it. It contributes to cognitive dysfunction, and it's even been linked to Alzheimer's. There are studies now that show that there's a higher propensity for people with Alzheimer's who have HSV. So, like, you don't want chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis. You don't want any of that stuff. We just don't know enough about those viruses, but we know how bad viruses can be. So why not keep your tests at home and be safe?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a link for that because here's what I've found in talking about things. People are like, well, what's the link for the test that she likes? I'm going to give it to you because we're doing a bunch of links at morelaura.com, right?
Yes.
So morelaura.com, I'll put a link to the tests for you there.
Morelaura.com.
So if somebody's like, I want to have a threesome, I'm going to get tested. That sounds good. They'll be able to find it. The one that I recommend, because they're most at-home STI testing companies have tests. You can't even understand what you're getting. That you get information from 5 different places. It's a disaster.
What are the most common concerns that you get from people in your inbox?
Yeah. For men, mostly, and it's interesting because you would think that they would ask me more like hot sex questions.
Yeah.
But maybe I just answer those so well. But guys want to know how not to come too fast. They feel like they are premature ejaculators. They don't have enough stamina. They want to last longer. Okay. That's number one. And number two are things around erectile dysfunction, loss of firm erection. And probably number three is, what's this thing on my So I get a lot of those kind of STI and health related questions from men. And then number 4 would be, how do I get my wife to want to have more sex with me? And the very first thing I ask them is, did she used to like to have sex with you? If she never did, then you're out of my league. You need a therapist because there's been some trauma, or there's a lack of education that's created fear or what have you, or she has some health issues or what have you. But if she used to like sex and she just doesn't want it anymore, chances are she got bored, disappointed, and it wasn't that good for her. Like, that's what happened to me. And that's what happens to a lot of women. They're like, my husband doesn't turn me on anymore. I don't know. And I'm like, you can turn her on again. So that's a big one. And then for women, I would say the number 1 is, how do I have an orgasm, or how do I have better orgasms? You know, that kind of thing. And that I love because I am really, really good at helping women have the 20 different kinds of orgasms that their bodies can have.
20 different?
Yeah, over 20. Because women think that there's something wrong with them. Guys don't. I mean, guys can have 20 kinds of orgasms too, but they have their one and done and they're like, I'm good. You know, like they're so confident because of all that testosterone. They think everything is great all the time. They actually wait till things are a disaster to take action because they trick themselves with their rose-colored testosterone goggles into thinking everything's better than it is. Where women, the first thing they think is there's something wrong with them, because they don't get the benefits of all that masculine testosterone.
Wow.
The confidence thing is legit about testosterone.
And so since you've been taking testosterone, has your confidence level increased?
Yeah.
Oh my
God, I mean, you can even
incredible.
see a man who has low testosterone acts like a granny, like a little scaredy cat old lady, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the loss of testosterone. Have you heard that thing called spontaneous versus responsive desire?
No.
Okay, this is so interesting. Spontaneous desire is mostly how guys walk around. And remember, I'm always on the bell curve. I'm always talking to like most people. Some people never get turned on. Some people are horny all the time.
Yeah, like there's,
right?
Or like, I have to say there's some times where I do like intercourse, not right away, but kind of like
You're ready.
Almost like grab a boob, stick it in.
You're ready.
But maybe that's like weird, subtle foreplay through the day. Maybe I'm ovulating. Maybe it's just
a new
I'm
partner.
already wet. Or you're ovulating,
Yes,
actually. When you're ovulating,
exactly.
it's like, I shouldn't be allowed outside when I'm ovulating, you know?
Exactly.
I'm a whore. I'm just like, I want
Aren't we
to hump.
all?
I want to hump anything.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yes.
it could be that.
Yes.
But okay, sorry. So it's
Don't
it's a bell
apologize.
curve. So it's
So
Yeah.
most women are what is called responsive. They have responsive desire. So they will respond to you. Hey, babe, you look so hot. Come over here and sit on my lap. Let me give you a little kiss. Oh, you feel so good. I love squeezing your butt. It's so adorable. You're so precious to me. Give me a little kiss. And then you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I do like him. Oh,
Yes.
or maybe he
Responsive.
holds you in bed, or he gives you a foot rub, or he gives you an angel shower and tells you 20 things he loves about you, and it gets you
Angel
like
shower?
relaxed. And yeah.
What's that?
An angel shower is just where, and technically an angel shower is where more than one person tells you how much they love you and all the reasons they do simultaneously, so that you're defenseless to negate it. Because if I tell you you're beautiful, remember when we first started and I was telling you how
Yeah.
pretty you are and how happy I am just to get to look at you for
Yeah.
an hour?
Yeah.
And you were
And
like,
I sort of
and you were like,
rejected
no,
it.
no, tell
Yeah.
me more.
Yeah.
No. Well, that's what we're taught in our society is
Yes.
to negate compliments.
Yeah.
We don't know how to take them in. But the sneaky little trick is angel showers. If you can get 3 of your
So
girlfriends.
Patrick
or,
needed to tell me that as well as you.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And then you can take it in better because you can't negate everything simultaneously. So it kind of
Right.
goes in better. That's what an
Okay.
angel shower is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So women are responsive. They have responsive desire. They will, if you learn
Responsive
good
desire.
seduction techniques, if you seduce your woman with integrity and take her out of her estrogen monkey mind and get her relaxed and slowed down and into her body,
Wow.
then her arousal can begin to climb that ladder.
Yeah.
But men are generally spontaneous, horny, ready to go, drop trowel. I want you to me in the garage. Now I want you to me on the pool table. Now I want you to me by the waterfall. And they'd be like, okay, I can do that. Let's go. Like they're
That's
out
so
of their pants by the time you got to the word waterfall. And that's just because they're ready to go. They got these fast-acting hemodynamics. They get turned on really quickly. They wake up horny. They've got nighttime erections. They're thinking about sex all the time. They jerk off to porn every day. This is what they're doing. We're not doing those things because we live in a different body. So what happens with husbands and wives generally is that he's just like, she's just been penetrated too soon, too fast, not enough warm up, not enough. And this is the other thing, foreplay and sex. We've heard that a million times. There's foreplay and then there's sex. What sex means to most people is intercourse. But the problem is for women is that all the stuff that's foreplay, like what we would consider the appetizer, is as delicious to us. Like, why aren't I getting my eaten for an hour until I'm ready to have intercourse?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to have I want my played with. I
Or
want to be
even,
kissed,
you talked about
worshipped.
in a video, you talked about just like laying there and having your husband just like massage your breasts and like just talk about your day.
Yes.
Just even that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it gets you out of because estrogen makes us, women, we are prey and men are predators. Not all, but that's the animal kingdom we live in. We know it, and we're worried all the time for our safety. We don't walk in the world safely.
Wow.
We know that, especially now with social media where women are talking to each other and we're realizing the extent of the lack of safety we've all been living under. And estrogen is the hormone that protects us from danger.
How does it protect us?
It keeps us looking 360 degrees all the time for the danger. When we're doing that, we're not relaxed. Our juices aren't flowing. Yeah. We're not calm. So we need to be with a partner we trust. This is why trust is so important.
Yeah.
We need to trust that our partner's not going to hurt us so we can relax and let go and stop being massively multitasking and just calm down and drop in and connect hearts and eyes and love and get into love. And then we can relax. And then if he takes time and he's not like, I'm just got to get to the but instead he's like, I'm going to hold her. I'm going to play with her boobs. I'm going to hear about her day. I'm going to give her a yoni massage. I brought some yoni massage tools to show you as well.
Okay.
Because yoni massage lets that blood get into our erectile tissue. It plumps it up. It starts off
And so does it get
flaccid.
hard or just?
Yeah, big, fluffy,
Big,
full of
fluffy,
blood. So
yeah.
it starts off super tiny and it It gets big, just like a penis can be just this tiny little thing. And then you're like, how could it possibly be that big when it was just that big?
Yes.
That's exactly what we have inside our yoni.
Why does no one know this?
This is my job. This is what I do. I teach people. I figured this out by reading a million things and, talking to scientists.
But they don't teach us this in health class.
Well, we don't have any sex education in our country, and it's going backward.
You talk about soulmate embrace. What is that?
That is a really good technique for calming down and getting us out of our head and into our body. And it is being held in a way that we've probably never been held before. When our partners hold us, often what they will do is they'll grab us, they'll bring us close, they'll pull us in, and then they'll let us go. And we're like, and then they let us go. The soulmate embrace is actually a way of lying down in bed together and nestling in your partner's arm, lying side by side. They can be clothed. They can have on like cotton t-shirt and cotton pajamas, just so they're not scratchy and sweaty. And you lie with them and you let things get off your chest. You talk about what's going on. You let things go. You start to calm down. You start to just unwind. You start to drop in and connect. And when you do that, it literally I just gleeked a little bit because I feel like I can always talk to you about things like gleeking. You're so cute. I felt my spit run as I relaxed because what happens is you actually, how did you breastfeed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Well, the oxytocin, right?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always like, you're kind of getting high from it in a sense. Like
The
love.
You are getting high from it.
And I co-sleep with my 3 and 5 year old. So
Perfect.
I've just got 2 babies. Just warm and snuggly and love. It's the best thing ever.
So nice.
Oh my God.
And you know how calming it is.
Oh, and they go to sleep like that.
I know.
For 12 hours.
I know. It's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like almost like it's natural.
And
with
so
little kids.
When you sat down to breastfeed and you pulled the babe in your arms, could you feel the milk starting to let down into your breasts?
Oh, yeah.
So
I could squirt it across a room.
I know, that's so fun. My girlfriend squirts me all the time. It's hilarious. She's always like, squirting me with breast milk. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So what that letdown happens when you relax in that soulmate embrace.
Yeah.
Your spit runs, your boobs relax, and the lubrication starts to flow into your vagina. You start to get lubricated and the blood comes down into your pelvic bowl. You begin to get aroused when you're being held by your partner, and your erectile tissue starts to fill with blood. Okay. The same amount of blood that gives them a hard-on has to flow into your lady boner, all your erectile tissue, so that it feels good. Why? Why is it important that you get a lady boner? Here's why. It's so simple. Your brain is your biggest sex organ. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
But what do you think is the reason?
I don't know.
A lot of people think, oh, it's dirty talk, which I know we'll do some dirty talk, but it's not necessarily just the moaning, the sounds, the words of adoration and appreciation. What it actually is the processing of sensation. Mm-hmm. So if he's licking your labia and running his tongue back and forth across the shaft of your clitoris, and you're feeling it engorge and get hard, and he's just taking the lightest tongue touch and he's touching the tip of your clitoris, and it's just so light and it feels so good. It's almost like it's calling her to come out and peek out into his mouth. And when that's happening, it's your brain that's actually making that happen. He's stimulating the tissue, but it's the neural pathway to your brain that's processing it and telling you that it feels good. So when you only have a little tiny clit, and this is all it is because you got rushed for sex, this is all the surface area there is.
Yeah.
When he plays with you for 20 minutes and you get this nice big lady boner, I'm going to put my clip back on here. when you get this nice big lady boner,
Yeah.
then all that surface area is going boom, 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 like an information superhighway to your brain going, oh, damn, that feels great, man. This is the best it's ever felt. Because he didn't rush me to penetration. He took his time with me.
Do you ever feel like you struggle to focus and stay present while that's happening, like during foreplay? And do you ever go off into like fantasy land and think of something that turns you on, or do you stay present? Like, what do you recommend that people do?
Both, all those things are good. The first
so
thing
there's
that
no
I
right
do,
or wrong.
The first thing that I do is I go, oh, I'm having trouble settling. Okay, that's kind. That's good. All right, I'm cool. All right, let's focus on what I'm feeling. Focus on my sensation. I'll just focus on what the pleasure is.
So you bring it back to
Bring
the
myself
here and
back
the now.
to the pleasure. Yeah,
Okay.
bring myself back to the connection. I tell myself, don't rush yourself. Take as much time. My husband's not in any hurry. He knows what it takes to get me going. He does the heavy lifting. That's why I'm never afraid to go in the bedroom and lie down with him, because he knows what it takes.
He knows what it
and
takes.
it's not me, it's all of us.
Do you ever have to think of another scenario?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes he tells me dirty stories. That's
Really?
fun too. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And sometimes we just talk until I start to get turned on.
Yeah.
The thing I never do is rush myself. I just bring myself back to my pleasure. And I like to just really get in my heart and get out of my head. And sex is a mindfulness practice. So you just keep bringing yourself back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Sometimes I find myself thinking about, like, I struggle to be present while it's happening.
Everyone does.
Yeah. And so then I think of like very strange, like fantasies that involve him.
That's good too.
But it's odd because I'm like, right now, like, this is amazing. Why am I having to go and create some other, like, oftentimes it'll be like another girl.
Yeah.
It is in the fantasy, even though the idea of doing that in real life, I get really scared or I feel jealous or whatever. But for some reason in the fantasy, I like that.
Fantasies are totally different
What's up
than
with that?
reality. That's just how we're wired. We love
Why are we
fantasy.
wired that way?
Well, we have fantasies, and they get set in pretty early in our lives, and they're just what get us off. But over time, as you sexually mature, you'll evolve your fantasies. You'll bring in new fantasies. You'll generate new ideas. New things will turn you on.
How do you think porn is affecting romantic relationships?
Well, I think that when we're hard on ourselves because we think we need to be performative, when we're like, how come you're not wet? How come you're not ready? How come you're not feeling anything? How come you're out of your head? It's like you just haven't had the time it takes. Porn
do you think
stars,
porn
they do scene after scene
consumption
after
is-
scene after scene, and that's all we see is this patriarchal view of just, she's ready to go, and then we think that's what we're supposed to be. That's for men to masturbate to.
Yeah.
That is not passionate, heart-connected, conscious lovemaking.
But do you think
That's
it's
porn.
damaging when men consume it a lot?
Well, I mean, a lot of guys, there's more and more guys who feel like they can't even get erect with a woman anymore. They have to just watch porn all the time. I feel bad about that. There's a lot of guys that have a lot of dopamine issues and dopamine addictions to porn and things. More and more and more guys. And young women are really feeling disenfranchised about it. And of course, a lot of the things that are shown on porn aren't things that necessarily they do in a way that women would be interested in, right? So, yeah, I mean...
The categories are disturbing.
They are.
Yeah.
I know.
Disturbing. So what do you recommend for a couple struggling in that area?
Well, there are a lot of women who write to me and say, my husband's addicted to porn. What do I do? And I say, if you think there's an addiction problem, he's got to, you know a lot about this.
Oh, I know all about it.
You got to stop doing it.
There's
You gotta
programs.
there are programs.
Yeah, but they have to be willing,
They have
of
to
course.
be willing.
If someone is scared to tell their partner what they want in bed, how do you suggest they overcome that fear?
Yeah, one of the links I want to put on morelaura.com is a little PDF that I have created that I think, remember how I was talking about understanding your relationship values is the solid foundation on which a great sex life rests. And that's not, it's like you're getting what you need out of the outside the bedroom relationship.
Right. You're feeling safe.
Yeah.
You're feeling what? Secure.
For me, mine are security, freedom, honesty, and passion.
Okay.
And variety. I like a lot of
Ooh.
variety.
Ooh, say
Those
that
are
again.
mine.
Say that again.
Sure. And I'll put this link on More Laura too.
Great.
It's easy. Mine are security, then freedom, then honesty, because honesty is security for me. If I know exactly what the is going on, I'm good.
So maybe it's not that bad that I wanted to know that he was at the bar. That's not a big ask. And he's like, I can always tell you. I can tell you, hey, I'm doing this. Big deal. Problem solved. Then I feel secure.
Yes. Right.
Right?
Because you've been traumatized by a cheating partner.
Yes.
So he has to compensate for that. Just like my husband compensates by taking care of me around security, the daddy stuff, which I love about him. So that I think is, and so knowing your relationship values is kind of the foundation. The next step up before you get into how do I give him a blowjob? How do I give her a yoni massage? How do I do orgasmic intercourse that's going to make her come really well? Because this is the other thing about porn is that in porn, mostly what you're seeing is the kind of thing that would feel good to a not to a. And so what you want is, I have a series of orgasmic intercourse techniques that teach you how to have sex with a vagina in the way the vagina wants you to have sex. And I can tell you about what the vagina wants, and that might be good. I brought some things to show you.
Great.
But the foundation is being able to know what you want and ask for it because, like you were saying earlier, how, you're just about to get your period or when you're ovulating, you're really horny.
Yeah.
You know how we're different all the time?
Oh, girl, yes,
Even
I do.
after menopause, we are moon cyclers. Just because we stop menstruating doesn't mean we stop having moon cycles.
Wow.
So we're like this our whole lives, right?
Yes.
This is not really going to stop that much. We still have it.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is that men are sun cycles every day. They wake up horny and they go to bed horny every day if they're healthy, which is good. We appreciate that. They do the heavy lifting to get us turned on, and that's really great.
Yeah.
When we have new relationship energy, that's one thing, which is we're hot for each other. It's all brand new. But that wanes, within 4 months to 4 years.
4 months to 4 years?
Yeah, that really, those kind of love chemicals that are generated with new relationship energy, they dissipate over time.
I find mine still there. Like I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years, but because we don't live together.
That helps.
We don't live together. He takes me out on dates. There's still this like new romance feel to it.
Exactly. That really helps a lot.
Yeah.
Novelty. So here's an interesting thing about having hot sex your whole life long is that you need a combination of trust, safety, plus novelty and variety to keep desire high. So when couples stop having sex, the most important thing is to start learning new sexy things together. Let's find your G-spot. Would you like to learn how to have a female ejaculatory orgasm? Would you like to find your P-spot? Could we try 69 and get really good at it? Because a lot of people say to me, I don't like 69. I'm like, because you don't know what you're doing and you haven't done it good. Anything.
How do you do 69 good?
Well, wait, let's finish this one. And then the parking lot, that one. So if you think about when couples stop having good sex, mostly it's boredom. And it's mostly her that's bored. Because, he's pretty steady state. He could just fuck you every day and be happy. Especially if you just hopped on his and got off on his and gave yourself an orgasm and then made him breakfast, he'd be like in heaven, right?
Yeah.
Now, all the guys are like, sign me up. But for women, we need more variety. And so the way that you keep new relationship energy going, so you've got the trust and the safety, but if you don't have novelty and variety, your desire wanes. So the way to get the desire back is to try new things in the bedroom together, to learn things. Let's learn how to do really good 69. Let's learn how to give a yoni massage and a lingam massage. Let's learn how to have orgasmic intercourse. Let's find my G-spot and let me release my feminine waters. Let's do a blended P-spot orgasm with a prostate massage tool while I stroke your, all of these kinds of things, right? So, I hit your limit right there. That was interesting. What was it?
No, I just it's exciting.
Oh, good.
I'm seeing this could be really fun to expand on all of that.
Oh, it's a life. I mean, here's the great thing about sex. If sex had a tagline, it would be sex. There's always something more.
Yes.
I mean, it never ends. I am like a sex idea machine. I come up with fun my Pop Rocks blow job for Valentine's Day for my husband. I mean, I'm always coming up with silly, fun, new things we can try, new toys to try, new positions to try, there's so much to do. That's really fun. So that's what gets your sex going again, which is really good. But the thing is that over time, you have to be able to have, and this is the foundation, and I brought it back, good for me, you have to be able to communicate what you want in every moment. Because you're cyclical, sometimes you're a kitty cat. And sometimes you're like, you're a lioness and you're going to pounce him, right? This is going back to being switchy too, So when you begin to embody all of that and you can kind of zero in on what you want and you can tell your partner, hey, I'd like to find my G-spot today, or that's too hard, or you're on my hair, or can you go slower? Can you go even slower still? Can you go lighter, even lighter still? And he can hear it and be like, yeah, baby, no problem at all. How's it now? Does this feel better? Light enough? Whatever you're asking for. Yeah. When you start to have just this ease of communication in the bedroom where you can say anything to each other and both of you are like, tell me more, because it's making me great at giving you pleasure, then you can start stacking all the other stuff on top, all the techniques and things. And so that is the Sexual Soulmate Pact. And I will put a link to that. I will give you the link to that on morelaura.com. Because what I recommend is that you print it out. It's a PDF. You print it out on your home printer and you read it and your partner reads it and you enter into the pact. You make a pact with each other to explode your bedroom communication, to ignite your desire for each other by telling each other what's going on. So you're not wondering, does this feel good to her? Is she getting off? Does he like this? Does he think I look fat? Oh, all the stuff that goes through your head. Boom, that goes away because you can say it.
Wow. And so many people struggle to communicate what they need.
Yeah. We don't have any models for it.
And how do you fix that?
You read the Sexual Soulmate Pact and you just print it
out.
out.
When do you start that type of education?
Immediately. First date. You're like, listen, if we're going to have, obviously you're hot as hell and I want to have sex with you and I'm really looking forward to it once we're tested. But here's my deal. I need to be able to say whatever I need to say, and I don't want you to take it like there's anything you're doing wrong, because how could you know? You can't know what's going on with me. I'm fucking different every moment of the day. So I'm just going to tell you what's going on with me every time we make love. Wow. And I need you to really encourage me and acknowledge me, because I'm sensitive to, I have like kind of a good girl thing where I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Mm-hmm. And if I think it's going to hurt your feelings, it's going to make me not tell you what I want. You want to know what I want, right, baby? Yeah, I do, baby. And so then you're like, okay, then if I say higher, lower, harder, softer, you're on my hair, can we try this? Can I take a break? Whatever. I need you to say, got it. Yes. Thank you. I mean, those two little words are so helpful for us.
I want to do like a Q&A, like people have sent in some questions.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
Someone says, I don't love my husband anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Can I reconnect that love back, even though my heart has been broken?
Oh, that was betrayal of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Betrayal, it really depends. What I have found with betrayal, and remember, I'm not a therapist. I write passionate lovemaking techniques. Yeah. I teach people how to have hot sex. So this is a little out of my area of expertise, but one of the things that I have learned when people come apart and they want to come back together is that about 20% of the people who've been betrayed really just simply cannot ever repair that. Yeah. And my sense is that it's something to do with genetic SNPs on the serotonin pathway, where every time they think about the bullshit their partner did, it pisses them off all over again, like a fresh wound that never heals. Wow. And those people are really stuck deeply in the betrayal, and it's unforgivable for them. Wow. And you need a good therapist, especially one that has a lot of kind of neuroscientific knowledge. It's very helpful because you got to rewire. It's not just about forgiveness. But then there are other people who are really fast at moving through things and letting go. You talked about that earlier with being more of having a Buddhist practice of non-attachment to stuff, and okay, it happened and I love him and he made a mistake and I got to get over it, because there are more. I love him and I want to love him. I'm just pissed at him right now.
Sure.
And so I got to work through it, but I
Yeah.
think I can get through it. And I
Yeah.
might need a therapist. We might need a therapist, but
Yeah.
I can do it. And only you know which of those people you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How to get over fear of intimacy after trauma and 5 years, no sex. I just freeze up in the moment.
Yeah, I'd start with soulmate embrace, which we'll put a link to. And I'd also start with yoni massages. I'd get the vibe and the queen, and I would just lay down and allow your partner to just revive your drive. It just you're out of practice. You need more attention, affection, acceptance, blood flow, time, comfort, reconnection. You'll get it back. And go on to have the best sex of your life, and there's always something more.
Yeah, it's not over. I think I'm saying this wrong. It's called, have you heard of vaginismus?
Yeah, vaginismus. Yeah, painful.
You know,
intercourse.
I had that.
Oh, I didn't
I had it
know.
once in my 20s. It was like I was closed for business entirely.
Yes.
He could not get it inside even.
Yeah.
It was closed.
Yeah.
I had never experienced anything like it. And at the time, I like rented some like vaginismus DVD to teach me how to relax because I
Good.
couldn't have sex.
Good.
And then after,
job.
Thank you. And then after I gave birth, same thing. 6 months was no sex
okay.
after birth.
Sometimes
it
you
was
need a break.
closed. I had to go to pelvic floor therapy.
Yes, that's great.
And they put dilators in. It started with just a pencil size. She said, it's just a pencil. You can do it. We breathed. I did the butterfly legs open and she did it. And then they progressively got bigger until they were the size of my then partner.
Good.
But so pelvic floor therapy really saved me
They
for any
are
women going
so
through that.
wonderful.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's traumatic.
Yes.
Birth is traumatic.
Yes, it is.
Or can be.
Yeah.
Okay, someone wrote this totally insane question. Okay. Samantha from Texas says, I'd rather an actual goat than have to look at my husband's wrinkled one more time. How can I be less disgusted by the sight of his crusty custard launcher? I don't want a divorce, but the mere thought of inserting his unwashed womb broom up my hole makes me want to inject myself with bleach. Help.
Yeah, that is difficult. She's really grossed out by her husband. My general like intuition around it is that he's not grooming himself well enough. And
It's a hygiene issue.
I mean, I think a part of it is probably that he's let himself go because she's not him and he's pissed off at her. And so that's the way he's rebelling, right? I mean, he's mad at her because she doesn't want to, right? It's very interesting that for women, the two things they want from a man for sex, number one, hygiene, grooming, good grooming.
Yes.
And number two, emotional connection. And so he's checked out, he's pissed off, and he's a dirty bird. And so she has to make him think it's his idea to take a shower and whack his pubes and groom and clean his fingernails and clean his ears and trim his nose hair and fix his eyebrows and get a haircut and buy some new clothes and, you know, all that stuff. But she has to give him something to live for because right now he's so dejected that he's not even taking care of himself. And that's going to age him more quickly and erode his life too. So both of them are missing the health opportunities of having great orgasmic sex.
Okay.
So I'm not sure because every husband is different, but whatever, and women know how to do this. They know how to make their man think something is their idea. And she'll know that better than I would because I don't know much about them. But I think once he starts to feel like there's hope, and maybe what they need to do, maybe and sometimes you have to do this for guys. Sometimes you have to be like, I want you to start wearing these clothes. I've made you a haircut appointment. Here's some nose hair trimmers. Like your toes look like Shrek. You need to go get a pedicure, and I've booked you a spa thing. Yeah. Like you have to maybe it'd work for you to set it up for him.
Yeah,
and
like,
then
hey,
say,
do you want to take a shower together?
I want you to take me out to this restaurant. I want to go, two-stepping or whatever is fun for you guys, or row me on a boat in the lake. I want to regenerate our romance. I want you again, and I don't. And a part of it is your hygiene, and a part of it is your attitude. And I think I've contributed to that, and I'd like a restart.
Erotic Playdates.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
No.
What are they?
So it's essentially this idea that, remember when I was talking about how desire is generated from both trust and safety plus novelty and variety?
Yes.
Novelty and variety is erotic playdates. That's what I call them. And so a lot of what I do, when I say I write sex techniques, yeah, I do. I teach you how to give her a squirting orgasm or have a P-spot orgasm, or, I teach those like block and tackle types of things. But what I'm really good at is giving people really good ideas for fun to do together in the bedroom. And that's what I call erotic playdates. So I'll put a link on morelaura.com with my sex life bucket list. It's a little PDF you can download that has 48 erotic playdates.
Can you give me an example of one? I swear we're wrapping this up, you guys. I swear. 5 more minutes. What's one example?
One of the ones that I like is lingerie photo shoots. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that I think you'd like it, because I think you're so gorgeous. And like right now, I mean, Laura, you are perfect. You are so exquisitely beautiful. And your body is so beautiful and lithe and healthy and toned. And you're that giant glamazon. You got to get that on camera. I mean, beautiful photos. And so I would love to see you make your bedroom look really, really beautiful and sexy. And then have your boyfriend take a bunch of lingerie pictures of you. And that way you can look so beautiful. You can see how beautiful you are. You can capture those memories. You can have a sexy, fun time. And of course, you'll want to at the end.
See, it's so funny you said that, and I immediately struggled to take the compliment entirely.
Yes, good.
And then
we'll keep working on that.
Yeah. And then I was actually imagining asking, and it would be really difficult for me to do that. And then I would be worried, like maybe the photos wouldn't be good. And I don't know. What's wrong with me?
Okay. So a couple of things. Number one, I have been taking sexy photos of myself since I was young. I was a model as a young girl, in 18, 19, 20. And then I realized it wasn't intellectually stimulating enough for me, but I learned how to pose.
Right.
And because I've learned how to pose, I've spent the rest of my life, especially in the last 20 or 30 years, hiring really good photographers to take really beautiful pictures of me. And I love having beautiful pictures taken, and I love doing them in lingerie.
Yeah.
And so it just takes practice.
I think I'm going to accept the challenge.
The first ones you do, you're going to learn from.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep getting better and better. It's not one shot. I want you to be taking beautiful pictures of yourself for the rest of your life. I want you to be sexually self-expressed and love your beauty from now till the day you die. And I want you to keep capturing all of that on film and looking at how you evolve and how you age beautifully and how you learn to be a better poser and the moments that you capture and the memories that you make. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is your boyfriend would love to do that for you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he would.
Yeah. And you can give him some for a spank bank.
Wow. Okay. Okay, what's the smallest thing someone can do to make the biggest difference in their relationship?
Schedule erotic playdates and just learn new things together.
How often?
Try and have a date every week where you're trying something new. Get your erotic playdates from the Sex Life bucket list at morelaura.com.
Is there a phrase that instantly makes communication smoother in a relationship?
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Glad you told me. Tell me more.
That's the magic.
Tell me anything.
Tell me anything.
Tell me anything. Always tell me everything. I love you and I want to know.
Wow. Okay, what's an underrated but wildly effective way to get your partner to do what you want without nagging or guilt tripping?
Oh, Jesus, it really depends on what it is.
I know. And I feel like we covered that.
Yeah,
too.
I feel like it too. Yeah. Sometimes you have to trick them into thinking it's their idea. Sometimes you just make them all the appointments and tell them what to do.
Sometimes you just use one of these while you're asking for the thing you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Weird little trick to instantly feel closer to your partner.
Touch them, hold them.
Yeah.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Yeah, just drop in with them. Get
Just
out
a
of your
long
head.
hug.
And long hug.
Yes.
Have you milked me dry? Are both of my completely empty now?
Okay, if you could, if
I have been suckling you for hours now, little girl.
I love that.
I thought you could relate.
Last fucking question. If you could whisper one thing into the ear of every single person in the world to instantly improve their love life, their sex life, or their relationships, what would you say?
You are beautiful exactly as you are right now. You are so lovable and you deserve to have incredible pleasure. Take it.
See, I'm glad I asked that question.
Good.
I'm glad I asked that question.
Squeeze the last drop out.
Girl, yes, I had so much I didn't want to forget.
I know.
Wait, where can people find you? Where can they find you?
Well, if there's any question Laura hasn't asked me that's left in the universe and you still want to ask me something, I am at betterlover.com and I have an email newsletter where this is the kind of stuff that I write about all the time and I have a lot to say. And if you get on my mailing list, which I love you to if you enjoyed this and you have a question, you can reply to any email I send you and I personally get your questions. They don't go to my care team. And so I will answer you. I answer all of my mail.
Really?
I do.
And you guys, morelaura.com to get all of this stuff.
Susie's favorite goodies.
Oh my goodness. These are great. These are good quality.
Yeah, that's
high quality.
Yeah. I'm very careful about what I recommend.
Yeah.
The companies have to take very good care of the people I send them. So I'm super picky about that.
Well, thank you so much.
You're
You're
welcome.
absolutely inspiring and hilarious
You're a
and
joy.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that we got to meet. And come back, will you?
Yay!
I'll have more questions
Oh
for
my
you.
God. I'll have to fill my boobs back up again.
Come back so I can update you on my threesomes, anal,
Yes!
and all the things.
Your lingerie photo shoots.
My lingerie
We've already
photo
made your sex life bucket list. Here we go. Yeah, you're going to take some Vitality gummies. You're going to do some red light. You're going to put some estrogen in. You're going to try some lubes. You're going to get a yoni massage. You're going to ride some cowgirl. I mean, girl.
I'm hooked up.
Yes,
This
you are.
thing,
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice product.
incredible.
Yeah, very good.
I'm like genuinely excited to go and see what other things are on the erotic Playdates.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
so fun.
Yeah, good.
Okay, let's go eat.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and if you guys like this episode, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube and follow me on Patreon every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for watching or listening.